with eXpresso on SABC3, and big news breaking in the States is that Ozzy Osbourne's son, Jack Osbourne, decided to become a police officer, and the headline in the States at the moment is, what will Ozzy say? We want to know, when do we have to stop being the bosses as parents and just let our kids do what they want to do? And Nikki Bush, a parenting expert, joining us in studio this morning. Nikki, good morning. Welcome to eXpresso. You've been with us a few times already.
Thanks, Lisa.
And I thought I'd throw you in the deep end and tell you about the Ozzy Osbourne story. But when do parents have to start letting go? When is it? Are you 25? Are you 31? Do you let go at the age of 1?
I think it's an interesting question because parents actually have children in order to, create independent people who can go and contribute to the world.
Yes.
And I think as parents today, it's a modern parenting conundrum that we forget, we lose sight of the fact that we are going to let our children go one day, and we have to keep the long-term view in mind when we're bringing up our children, because we tend to have very short focus. Let's deal with today's issues right now because it's all urgent, important, but we have to keep that view of how is this child going to be independent from us one day? How are they going to live without us? Are they going to be resourceful? Are they going to be resilient? Will they be able to deal with the blows that life brings, because life doesn't unfold in a straight line? And so letting go of our children actually starts from a very early age, and that means passing on the baton of responsibility in little tiny incremental ways as we go along.
Like a good boss should.
Yeah, like a good boss should. So it really is about when you're in the kitchen, allowing your kids to help in the kitchen, because one day they have to cook for themselves, and we tend to keep all the household chores very close to our hearts. Do we let them clear out the dishwasher with us, doing the knives, forks and spoons, sorting them out, popping them back into the drawer when they're age 3, 4 or 5? If we don't do that, they won't be helping with chores around the house, and we have to pay them for that, and that's not such a great thing. So it really is about teaching them to light fires safely by starting with a candle, and then teaching them to build a fire and teaching them to build a braai, so that eventually at the age of 8 or 9 they can do this safely and responsibly. And so we just keep letting out those kite strings a little bit until we can let them fly, ultimately when they leave the nest. I'm not sure kids do leave the nest these days. It seems they're hanging around for a hell of a long time.
And then of course you see the kids going, "You're ugly, I hate you, you're horrible, mommy."
And every child goes through patches of doing that. Yeah. My children have done that too. And it's just awful when you're a parent and your child goes, "You're so ugly, you're such an ugly mother.
Sarah's mother's nicer."
Horrible. And it's usually in a moment in time when they cannot get their own way. When they're wanting to do something or they're wanting something, and you turn around and you be the boss and you say no. And then they compare you to other people too. And they go, "Well, so-and-so's got an iPad and so-and-so is getting 200. And so-and-so's mother lets them stay up till 9 o'clock at night." So you are often being compared by your children to other people's mothers, and they compare their own lives to other children's lives. But at the end of the day, you are the boss of your own household. And in time-pressed households, and most households today are time-starved, time-pressed, parents default to what is easy. Let's not rock the boat because I don't have time for my child to have a meltdown. And so we do what's expedient rather than what's perhaps better for the long term of this child. So going back to what we said in the beginning, when do you start letting go? You do start letting go right from the beginning, but you've got to keep in mind what are the skills you need to give your child so that you can let them go, because you're going to have to trust in them to let them go. Are they going to be okay? Do they have good decision-making powers? Are they going to choose the right partner?
Of course.
You know, all these choices, life is full of choices.
Well, we've got a call on the line. Sylvia's on the line. And Sylvia, you're live on eXpresso. Good morning. Your question to Nikki Bush?
Dit is so eintlik oor die baas storie. Ek elke maand 'n ou seentjie van haar kyk en hy kan nog op my baas wees. As hy in die oggende van sy huis af kom, dan moet ek sorg dat my huis skoon is en alles, want hy het net sy tye wat hy wil eet, net sy tye wat hy wil drink en wat hy wil doen. Is ek verkeerd om 'n bietjie slack te gee, of
Moet sy bly op 'n tyd? Is she asked an 18-month-old baby ruling the roost? Well, must she keep to the routine of the baby?
Being the boss actually starts right from the time your baby is born. And it starts with a basic routine. And many families today don't have a basic routine. When do we wake up? When is it time to sleep? When is it time to play? When is it time to eat? So it's a very basic thing of having a predictable routine, because babies and children, even adults, feel far safer when they can predict what's happening next in the day. When they don't know what's coming up next, they go into fight or flight mode.
Of course.
And then in order to call the parents' attention to my fear, I misbehave, but am I really misbehaving? I'm calling out for attention and to shine the light on the fact that I'm feeling insecure. Why am I feeling insecure? And very often it's because there is a lack of a basic routine. And you get to know your baby's rhythms, and then you start putting in the boundaries as you get to know your baby. Boundaries that work for you and for your child.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, Nikki's going to be joining us a bit later on, so if you do have any questions you can pose to. We're also going to be talking about those boundaries. Where do we draw those boundaries? But right now, over to the kitchen with Michael Willey.